Hi,
Hey,
happy Friday.
happy Friday. How are you?
Good. I don't complain on Fridays. That's my rule.
It's a good start. I like that.
Yep. What's
I
been
like
going
that.
on?
Do you like my earrings?
Very nice.
I just got back from Alaska, and
This,
my number one goal was to buy long beaded earrings that were made locally, and I love them.
do they tickle your shoulders? Because that would drive
They
me
do.
crazy.
I really, really wanted them, and I found them in this little gallery shop, and it was a special gift to myself.
Oh, good for you.
So thank
Special
you.
trip on a special gift on a special trip.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So what's new with you? I heard you're doing some website redesign.
First of all, it took me days. I'm not kidding. It took me complete days to redo that website. We have the BookEnds website, which we
Hmm?
are also redoing. Fun fact.
Yeah,
There's
expect to watch out for that. Although I don't know how much regular people will notice. I think our changes are going to be big to us, subtle to others.
Yeah, that's true. But I always like to reveal a new website.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, if we're redoing that, I should redo mine. I also got to a point where I was putting every single client book on my website, and
So hard.
it was hard to keep up with. It became like this really massive website that took forever to load.
Yeah.
So I spent like a solid week redesigning it. And then once I had finished, Layla, our social media marketing manager, and my assistant showed me something you can do on Squarespace that just revolutionized the pages that I had. I'm like, now I gotta go do it all over. So I spent a
What
lot
was,
of time.
tell us what that was, because
So I
I,
was doing like this gallery where I had every client's picture, but then Layla taught me that you can do this like list of people, which then gives them the picture, their name, a little section for a bio, a button for their website, and it just looks more professional.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
but anyway, I was struck by how many clients don't have a website.
Really?
Yeah, and I have been, it's always my
That
thing.
is, viewers, listen up because that is not good.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe I should say not just don't have a website, but like the website is not super
Up
up to date.
Yeah. This is something that I really try to gently talk to my clients about, that your website is super important.
Yeah. So my clients know usually when they close their first deal, I'm on them about a website, like get it up and running, save future you the stress, just start it now kind of thing. But things happen, right? People take a year off from publishing a book and then things just get out of date or links get broken
Yeah.
or things like that. And it was a good reminder going through my website to like watch all of the slugs, right? Which is what they call the website.com/ what comes after that, like your specific pages, to watch, that your domain name doesn't get expired or things like that because it
Yeah.
happens so frequently. And your website is a thing that once you've done it, it's just like, all right, it's there, it lives there. My book is on it. People can reach out to me.
Yeah.
It's so easy for something to go haywire.
I think too, we've gotten so caught up in the quote unquote importance of social media that we've dropped the website. But something you and I have discussed previously is that your website is the one thing you own.
Yeah. I think it's
So
okay to take pride in it too.
you should. It should
Yeah.
be really wonderful. And listen, if you don't feel strongly that you have a good design aesthetic, and these are things we have to own, right? We have to know our strengths and we have to know our weaknesses. You can get a pretty basic website designed for not a lot of money. If you really don't feel like you can do it yourself, you know, if you're published and things are going well, you can hire somebody to update your website once a month for not a lot of money. But it is really important. I had a recent situation where I was checking a client's website and I actually sent a really long email and I was like, your links are broken. This isn't working. You don't have a bio on there. You
Yeah.
know, y- there needs to be updates. And when I go out on submission, editors are checking
And
websites.
that's the thing. I link the client's website. I won't really link
Yeah,
social media because I think social media is, and we talk about it, like you said, it's like
I
trans
don't.
things are changing. I never link a client's social media, but I
I
will
don't
link their website, especially if they're previously published because their other books are there, who they publish with, their A lot of authors will have an events page or a news page, and those sorts of things can be super helpful for an editor to see.
Yeah, I think every author, all of us, everybody, I think, I say this here at Bookends, everybody should be updating their bio at a minimum of quarterly. You need to be reading your bio, updating it. I mean, every time I read mine, I can make little tiny tweaks. We're all writers, right? You're writers. You say every time you read your manuscript, you're going to find something you can tweak. The same should be true of your website. You should have a date on the calendar once a month that you're checking on your website that you're updating things. Books that are listed as coming soon
Yeah,
that
that should change.
come and pubbed.
Or
That should-
like the deal announcement, once the cover is revealed, the deal announcement can go.
Yes, yes. And the contact page. Once you get an agent, your agent's name should go on your contact page, especially for indie authors, because those things are coming through. If you have, for us, we take on indie authors and handle their subsidiary rights. That should be on your website. All of
Yeah.
that information should be updated. You need a bio. I always say to people, you need a bio, you need a headshot that is high res that can be downloaded in case people want to do an article or a piece on you. Your covers need to be high res and downloadable. I have no idea how many client websites I've gone to and I can't download their cover.
Yeah.
I just went on a little rant. I'm sorry. You were just talking about the work you're doing. I just ranted.
No, this is the rant that I went on. Like, why isn't this link working? Or why is that book not on that? A book that came out this year is not on the website. It should be on the website. Which, again, it happens. It's not like wagging our finger, but
No, no,
it's just something I was struck by as my own website kind of got a little out of date too. And no,
they
a
do.
yearly calendar reminder that says refresh or
Yeah,
take off the old junk or change the colors or whatever it might be.
right.
Or if you have a lot of folks work, especially on the picture book side. There's this one company, I think it's like Weavesy Daisy or something like that.
Mhm.
She does really beautiful designed websites. And if you have someone who has done it for you, you're obviously not going to go in and change the whole look. But it's super easy to go in and update, like you're saying, update your bio, update the coming soon, the news, the events, the little things that you have written in to fill out your pages will naturally get stagnant over time. You won an award, your book became a bestseller, or an Amazon pick of the month, or I don't know, you had a doll come out, like something like that. Like those little things should be added in.
You just love
Milton is
moving.
just going to be there looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life. But those little things, a quarterly website update, it takes like an hour.
If that sometimes. Yeah.
Unless you're an idiot like me and decide to redesign it
Okay.
everywhere.
So I have a question for you, and then I have thoughts. I have all sorts of things floating around in my head. So you did add all your clients to your website. You said it was a lot. You did add all of them.
So I have always had my Illustrator clients like a little image from them, like we have
Oh
on the
yeah.
BookEnds website.
Hmm.
And then I created, and I used to only have authors' names, but then I created a gallery of their headshots that links to their website. And then I also still have the artist page. I used to have a lot of pages on the website that just went away. So for me now,
Yeah.
it's just like about artists, authors, and MSWL/submit. Because I
Yeah.
think that's really all that people are looking for.
Yeah. I was asked not too long ago when I took on a new client why we don't have all of our clients listed on the Bookends website. So that's why I was asking you.
So no, it's funny. Well, okay, for one agent, what do I have? I think for like 50 clients.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's not super hard to manage. But in redesigning our website, Layla, who is masterfully doing it all, created an authors page and was listing all of the names. And I looked at it, I was like, no, like that's crazy to
No,
up.
because we have 12 agents, so you're talking probably over 1,000 clients. Because, what I want to explain to our viewers is that we all have active clients, and I would say everybody at Bookends, all 12 of us, have give or take roughly 30 some very active clients that we're
Yeah,
very hands-on with now. But I've been doing this for 25 years.
yeah.
So it's probably fair to say that I have 100 or more people who are clients who have sold books for, who might not be really active right now, might not be currently publishing or whatever it is. It would be massive.
I think Layla got to like last name I that start with I, and they were like, this is so much work. So yeah, it's not feasible. And then also think, like I'm saying about redoing my website with 50 clients. What about all the people whose website domains go or they change their website
That's
domain?
a lot of updating.
It's a lot of updating that's not feasible. And I personally, I feel like when links get broken on a website, it's kind of an unprofessional look.
Yeah, I agree. And I just don't know. I mean, we do really promote our authors on our website through their book covers and through the images we post. I just don't know that most people are going to look through a giant list of names and really connect with it, especially when it's that large.
And a website, the point of a website is like a professional resume, but you don't put every single thing you've ever done in your life on a resume, which
No.
is the truth for an agency too. Our job is to put books on our website that are going to speak to the kind of work that we're doing. That does not
Right.
mean every single book. I mean, sometimes some of us have like 30 books come out a year plus.
Yeah.
It's not feasible. Websites get slowed down. And then there is such thing as overload, like just too much information that doesn't sell you, more like just kind of confuse people. So I think our goal with the website is to highlight the titles that speak to the kinds of books that we're doing.
Yeah, and you also, it really pays to look at analytics. Like
Yeah.
Google Analytics connecting to websites, I think is free or very inexpensive. It's really important that once you get your website done, and all authors should be doing this too, and understanding why people come to your website. Because one of the things I can say is that the primary audience for our website are people looking to submit to us.
Yeah.
So, sometimes clients will say, well, can you advertise my book or whatever? People don't come to our website and go buy books. They typically don't. Those are not the links that
No.
get clicked. They come to check us out to see who our clients are so that they can submit to us. And that's their primary goal. So that's where our focus needs to be on our website. Like, who is our audience? And that's where we have to feed the information to. And I think for authors, it's something similar. Looking at those analytics and figuring out which pages people are most actively going to is really good to know what you need to highlight on your website and what maybe you don't need to spend as much time on.
Yeah, and it's also really helpful for website navigation to know how easy it should be to find something,
Yeah.
what should be in your toolbar, what could be, somewhere else. So it is super helpful to know all of that.
Yeah, and one thing I had to make a note for myself so I wouldn't forget to say this. I think authors creating websites, especially before you're published, a website can be very rudimentary and simple and often is, and that's fine. Once you start getting published, whether it's traditionally or indie, I think what I would advise authors is look to the websites of the authors you want to be.
Always.
Don't design a base level, I did this myself website. Look at those authors who I want to have their career, and that's the direction your website should be headed. That's sort of, I'm not saying like you need to copy theirs, but the level of art, the level of design, the level of copy, the information that's there should match the author you want to be
Yeah, for sure.
and the career you want to have.
Also, just to kind of see what information they're putting on there, what the style is for any particular genre, it's all very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, websites are a big deal and everybody should be having one.
Yeah.
So, well,
So, and
that's,
then make your agent's life easy if they're making their own website, please. So I
yeah,
have
and
a
most
question for
agents do.
you.
I don't have my own website. I just rely on the BookEnds website. I
Well,
think
that
it's a
makes
mixed
sense.
bag here at BookEnds. I think some of the agents have their own websites and some just rely on BookEnds.
Yeah, I think the only reason why I ever created the website was because I had the book come out.
Mhm.
So for me, it was necessary. And then
For
I just,
those who don't know, James is also a published author. That's what
yes,
he says. That's why he says when the book came out.
sorry.
His book came out.
Yes. And then I just made it. And then it was kind of dual purpose. It was
Right.
good to have my deals were being listed. Now I have enough books that have come out that it's just the covers,
Yeah.
because that's what's more recognizable. But I will keep it because I think it's just easy and good to have.
I
But
also think you like doing it. You like doing the website work you're doing right now.
I do enjoy it. It's just when you like spend 12 hours, you're like,
Yeah.
geez, Louise. But it is fun. And even like looking at what Layla is doing with the Bookends website, I love doing that. Just
I'm meeting with
offering
her
my
in like a
2 cents.
half an hour to see what's been
I
going on
know. I did already
lately.
see it, so I think you're gonna love
I'm
it.
excited. I'm
But
really
I have a
excited.
question for you. Are you submitting before Labor Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
I
fact,
thought so too.
if I can get my SHIT together, I'm
Right.
going to try to send something out today. Do you
Okay.
remember? Um, Years ago, and an editor did a rant on Twitter, and it was years ago now, about agents submitting on Fridays. And they ranted on Twitter about how agents shouldn't be submitting on summer Fridays. And it turned into a whole thing. And I was irate. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't submitted to that editor since.
Oh, wow. I
It
don't
made me
remember
so
that
mad.
one, but I feel like that's because it happens so frequently.
Well, this in particular, context matters, which does not exist in social media. As things came to light, it was sort of this toxic agent, and it was, and they were specifically talking about some specific situation that was not good. But the way they originally ranted, it sort of felt very targeted to all agents. And I
Yeah.
think about that all the time because 90% of my submitting is on Fridays because the truth is my Mondays through Thursdays tends to be preparing the submission and
Yeah.
doing everything else I need to do. And Fridays that tend to be lighter. And so that's when I can get my submissions out. And I like submitting on Fridays because I think editors for me are thinking, well, I'm going into the weekend. If I get something in my inbox really great on Friday, I might take it home with me to do my reading because let's face it, that's when we're doing our reading. But I think every time I submit on Friday, which is almost every submission, that's in my head of that editor ranting about getting a submission on Friday.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best things to have come out of COVID, was like everybody kind of got more accepting that emails go out when they go out and you can handle them when you handle them.
You think?
I
Because
do
I don't
think,
think
yeah. I mean, like,
everybody's
I get
accepting
emails
that.
at like 2 a.m. now. Like,
Yeah, I don't pay attention. The same with text. Like, people will be, I text
right.
when I'm
Well, don't text
available
me
to
at 2
text.
a.m.
Well, don't you shut your phone off? Don't you shut your notifications off?
I have no notifications on at all, but still, don't text me at 2 a.m. That'll just piss me off in the morning.
I know. I have people who live all over the country. So
Oh,
my
okay.
2
That's fair.
a.m. is their convenient to text time. So I don't, and then when I get up really early and they're still in bed, that's my convenient to text time. So our texts are all over the
Yeah, that's
place.
fair. Yeah, I do put it on Do Not Disturb, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I have totally on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah. But
But
I think that like, yeah, I get more emails on the weekends, but I don't touch them. It's my job to not manage my inbox on days and times where I don't want to be working. It's not somebody else's. Some
correct.
people have other jobs, some people have kids, some people are caretakers. Like, not everybody is doing their work between 9 and 5 on a weekday anymore. So I think
Yeah.
that's the best part. But I think there, for the Labor Day question,
Yes, I
August.
was going to come back to that if you didn't, because I totally hijacked you, of course.
That's fine. August is usually pretty slow with everybody going on vacation. So
Yeah,
oftentimes it's like a strategy decision of do we wait for September, do we not? But now I feel like everybody waits for September
I do
so that
not.
editors are just glutted in September. So I'm like, I'm gonna send some stuff out now.
But I feel like that is not a new thing. I feel like there are agents, and I don't think this is us, but I do think there are other agents who feel very strongly that summer is a slow tone. I mean, I've talked to authors who talk to agents who really don't do much submitting at all in the summer. And then,
I don't know
but
how.
right.
I
But so,
don't think that my
my
clients would
philosophy
allow
is
it.
right. And then, we roll into the holidays and then they don't submit during the holidays. And then, I don't know, they don't want to offend anybody on Valentine's Day. I don't know. I just feel like there are agents who have a lot of rules of when they don't submit.
Yeah, gone are the days.
And, you know, we are selling books all times of the year, including in December when people are really wrapping up for the year. So
Yeah,
I
though
don't
I will say I don't submit in December. I don't
You know
submit
what? I
in
say that
December.
every year,
And
and
you
then
do?
every year I end up submitting one or two things. So it depends. Like if it's something an editor's expecting, but I did that last year and had that huge sale in January.
Yeah. I think for not even for everybody else, I just don't want to be bothered post Thanksgiving. I'm
No,
trying to wrap things up, like do the file cleanups, the audits, everything, prep for next year. I just don't have the patience to put a book out on submission.
no, and I would agree with you there. If I'm submitting in December, it's very strategic. And that's why I can't say I don't submit in December because I do every year end up sending something out.
Yeah.
But I would say if your agent is saying to you, I don't think we should submit in December, trust your agent on that one because
Yeah.
typically most of publishing closes the last 2 weeks or so in December. And let's be honest, once Thanksgiving is over, most everybody's headspace changes. Everybody's looking towards what's next. We're wrapping up our year. We're trying to get organized. I always find this is when I'm prepping for next year.
Yeah, it's like June senior year. Like nobody is showing up.
And I would say the same to authors.
Yeah.
Don't, it probably doesn't behoove you to submit when agents are doing their big end of year cleanup.
Yeah. I mean, again, if that's the only time you can query, go for it. But a lot of people just close that time of year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because it's just one extra thing to manage. But I think December is as especially lately has become very like slow. Like do the things on your pace. It's not like rushing to get books out there. So I'm okay
So
with that.
you're submitting before Labor Day?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I looked at it as like a little strategic. Sure, you're gonna get out of offices, but how many submissions do you send out that people respond in the first week anyway? I don't get any anymore.
Not much.
So I figured why not put it out there? It'll be in people's inboxes if they're back like those last 2 weeks of summer, because not everybody takes vacation in the last 2 weeks of summer, and people want to read. And then maybe like the fall will kick off in a bigger, better way. So I'm gonna try it out.
But to be
Usually,
honest, not every kids are back in school.
which is
So,
crazy. I think
right.
coming
So
from New
if
York
kids
is,
are going back in school, those people who are parents and working in publishing are full in. They're
yeah,
already full into work because their summer is over.
yeah. Yeah, I think the New Yorker in me is like everything hinges on Labor Day. The summer is over on Labor Day for
Yeah.
us. Because then the kids go back to school usually the day or the next day,
Some kids go back before though.
which is crazy. Yeah, no, I don't want to be them. So,
So, yeah,
anyway, just thought we'd get on the same page about that.
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
I have books to sell, things to do.
Right. And I'm like
I'm
antsy and I want to get these two books out there, so I just want to send them out.
I'm ready for fall. I'm for not really the season. I'm not really ready for summer to end, but I'm
I am.
ready. I'm ready work-wise for I have got some exciting things coming up.
I'm ready
Um,
for both. I'm ready for it to be like 25 degrees cooler and
yeah,
everybody to be like back to a routine because I don't like my routine getting messed up.
I'm a little ready. I'm spending this weekend nesting. I'm going to clean a little bit. I have a client revision I'm really excited to read because I want to get that out really around Labor Day, before or after, depending on what shape we're in. I have a submission I need to read. I just want to hide in my house this weekend and get stuff done because,
Yeah.
I've been back from vacation 10 days. I'm a mess.
Are you
I
still not
am,
unpacked?
I'm not,
I don't
but
know. I don't enjoy that. I don't.
I didn't think you're gonna call me out on that. No,
I,
I am not an instant unpacker.
okay, but it's not even it's just beyond instant at this point. It's 10 days. Like surely you need a shirt in your
Well, that's what I do. That's how I unpack. It doesn't all
Oh
sit there.
my God.
I continue to live out of the suitcase.
We are
And
so different. It's so crazy. 10 days is wild. Things
it
have
is,
a place and they should be in that place. And also,
but sometimes
suitcases
you
have a
bring
place.
home things and you feel like the suitcase is still the place because you don't know what
No,
to.
no, well, okay, but the suitcase has a place and it's presumably an attic, a closet, under a bed, or a basement. So it's time to get it there.
It is. I agree with you. It is. It's part of what this weekend's gonna be. But it's been really hard. I I've been very sort of somewhat not very somewhat intentional about it, but I'm still trying to get through my email.
Oh yeah,
And so
running
I
the company
really
and all that jazz.
appreciate everybody who's been patient with me, but I'm getting like frustrated.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, because you respond to one email and or what needs to be done with one email, and that
Yeah,
ends up being five emails,
they
and then
ricochet.
yeah, and then you can't get to the other five emails you really wanted to get to.
Yeah, that's what it is. You send it out, like six more come back.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to get a little bit, but a lot of good things happened while I was away.
That's true.
So I am not at all sad about
That's
this.
true. Okay, let's end off our video with a viewer question. We've got one from TE Hatton 4456. Question: when we write our query blurb, giving details, being specific, etc., how different will they be from our anticipated back cover copy? Since in the back cover copy, we want to lure them in like that horrifically creepy dude with the big nose and chitty chitty bang bang. I don't want to give away too much to the reader in the back cover copy. I'm going to hazard a guess that giving you more detail in the query then what ends up in the back cover copy is the norm,
No.
right?
So I just got cover copy for a new, it's going to be my client Lexi's debut. It's going to be the Blue Moon Cafe and 24-Hour Occult Emporium, which I just love that title. That's the title, all of it. Um, the Blue Moon Cafe and 24-Hour Occult Emporium. I just love it. Anyway, we just got her cover copy from the publisher. And the editor said, here's the cover copy. We're still tweaking some things, but she was like, I made some changes from the pitch letter. So the pitch letter is what I sent to pitch the book with, which was almost verbatim with some changes from the author's query.
Yeah.
So it's really the same thing. It's just there are a few, like I said earlier about doing the website, every time you look at something, you tweak it a little, and every person who looked at it tweaked it a little, but it's pretty much the query letter.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the goal when writing a query. That's our goal when writing a pitch. It's like we're not just writing to give all the information. We're writing to make this book sound irresistible and
Yeah.
make someone want to pick it up. That's the same when you're writing a query letter to us because you're in a sea of other books. That's the
Hmm.
same when we're writing a query letter to editors because we're in a sea of other books. And that's the same when we're putting it on the back of a cover copy because it's in a sea of even many more books.
Yeah.
So it's always about like it's persuasive writing. How can we get the person reading
Mm.
this to want to pick it up and read it? And if you do it right and you do it well, there's no reason why it has to change,
Yeah. I remember once I
barring like revisions.
yeah, right. And I would say the same about everything in your query letter. The
Yeah.
bio. The
Yeah.
bio is pretty much the same in your query letter as is going to be on the copy of your book. What I would say since we started discussing websites is that the bio on your website should be expanded. It should be more personal.
Right.
They've already read your bio on the cover. Now they've fallen in love with you, which is why your readers go to your website. Give them a little bit more. Talk
Yeah.
about your dogs or your gardening hobby or your travel adventures or whatever it is you do beyond what's on the book.
Yeah.
Make that for your website. But all of that stuff, you want to write the great best query letter? You just go to the books on your shelves and start reading everything that made you buy those books, really.
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes I think just to answer the question a little more specifically, like sometimes you will have put more information in your query that can be taken out
Yeah.
because we're not trying to necessarily like sell certain hooks to the public, right? Like the cover helps with that, where it's shelved helps with that. Sometimes a query has to have more information. I think where I see this most commonly is in fantasy. Sometimes a fantasy pitch is short, and I'm like, well, how the hell do you fit all the all the world building into that? Like, and they don't. It's not
Right,
always
right.
necessary. Sometimes the cover and the comps and things like the quotes that can help. So fantasy might get a little shorter. When I write a fantasy pitch, it tends to be a little longer because we're trying to sell all
Well,
the
you've
stuff
been
we can.
struggling with that just now
Oh,
trying
I've
to write
been
a pitch.
kicking myself in the ass over a pitch for at least 2 weeks. So that's the truth. Like, and because I'm trying to picture it like, okay, how would this look on a book? How is it going to differentiate this book from the other book? And then sometimes it's just, well, the cover can help. And the
And what's going to sell it? What's going to sell this to editors is what you've been looking at. And
yeah.
I haven't seen your most recent, but I believe what you ended up doing was basically shaving it down
Yeah.
into a lot, right?
My most recent is not super far from the last thing you saw because I just decided like, nope, everything actually was important to me.
Okay. Right,
And
right.
that's the thing. Like we have a queries and pitches channel that we will send our pitches to the whole team, and people are telling me what they think is important and what is not, and you can get rid of this. And I listen to it all because it's all good feedback, and I'm like, I just don't like I don't ultimately agree. And I decided
Very cool.
to make some tweaks and cut down the word count a little bit, but keep some of the things that I thought were important and needed to
Right.
be explained. But there, some readers are well versed in a genre and will get it, some aren't, and it's not an easy thing to do. The best thing you can do is practice. It is a skill that you can sharpen.
Yeah, there's nothing we love more than an author who sends us a really killer pitch so we can just
I
use
don't
that
have to
as
do
ours.
anything. I can just copy, paste. I will always, like you said, like I will always like put my hands in there and tweak a little bit, but
Yeah.
if it's a good pitch, it's a good pitch. Who am I to say?
I'm not gonna miss one of the best. I believe one time years ago, I sold a book and the editor responded, "This pitch is amazing." And I said, to be honest, the author wrote it. And I believe that helped really sell the book because
Yeah,
from the pitch, they were like, I'm excited to read now this author's work because I know
yeah,
this author wrote this pitch.
yeah. And the pitch is so important for us to send to editors and be good. Like to get an editor to say, this pitch sounds so good. I forgot who it was. I was speaking to an editor and they said, it's the thing that makes me keep coming back to the book.
Yeah.
A good pitch can do that. A good pitch that
Yep.
highlights the hooks will make you keep coming back. Even if it's just meant to like, I want to read that one submission that Jessica sent me. Or
Mm-hmm.
there's that submission in my inbox that comp this, I gotta read that. Like
Yep.
that's what the goal of the pitch is.
Well, listen, when I said I submit on Fridays, you know, I want that pitch to be so great that that editor takes it home for their weekend reading.
Yeah. And even if they don't, the goal is that. The
Yep.
goal is like be on their mind.
Yep.
So,
So write a
well, we
great
hope
pitch.
that was helpful.
Excellent. So I will see you next week.
See you next week. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.